Yes, good morning, student. This is manufacturing industries. If you see the name of the lesson, man and factoring, I think it might have been given because man and factors are available in the industries where the raw material is converted into products. Definition is as it is giving children see here. Production of goods in large quantities after processing of the raw materials to more vulnerable products. Example here, paper raw material, wood finished product, sugar opposite I have told. Wood raw material, paper is the finished product, sugar cane is the raw material, and sugar is the finished product. Then what is the importance of this manufacturing? It is considered backbone of development because it provides job in the secondary and tertiary sector. Job when people give, automatically unemployment and poverty will be coming down, and when the export of manufactured goods will be done, then more and more foreign exchange will come, and automatically India will prosper and more industries can be established. What is the contribution to the national economy of the manufacturing sector? Of the India's total GDP, the contribution made by the industry is 17%. It is very less as compared to the some of the East Asian economics or East Asian countries where the contribution is 25 to 35, almost double if you see the figure 17 and 35. But in 2003 the growing rate of the manufacturing industry is from 9 to 10%, and NMCC has been set up with this objective how to increase the rate of the percentage of the manufacturing industries per year. For industrial location children, uh, there are various factors on which it depend. Availability of raw material, cheap labor, power, I mean electricity, nearness to the market, and the transportation means should be such that bringing of the raw material to the industries and taking of the finished product to the market should be easy. Then only the industrial industries can be located. Now the classification of industries has been done on the basis, these are the various bases if you see here. On the basis of raw material, it is agro based, mineral based, basic industries. Then on the basis of on the basis of raw material, agro based and mineral based. On the basis of role, what role this industry is going to play further, basic industries and consumer industries. Then on the basis of capital invested, it can be small industries and large industries. And on the basis of who will be the owner of these industries, it can be public, private, joint or cooperative industries. Now, let us refer to the agro-based industries. It is the second largest employer, means agriculture is giving the largest number of employment, but this agro-based is also giving the employment to large number of the people. Of the total GDP, by the selling of its product, it is contributing 4%, and it is only a self-reliant industries. The first example of this agro-based industry is cotton textile. See here it is written, it is produced with the help of, it might be hand spinning or power looms. Normally in the Maharashtra and Gujarat area, The cotton, raw cotton is grown in large amount. So you will find these industries, cotton textile industries, concentrated in Maharashtra and Gujarat area. Uh, the amount of spindles, if we refer or compare, India is having the second largest just after China. And with reference to the trade of cotton yarn in the world, India's contribution is to the total trade is 25%, almost 1/4. Now, jute industry, children, again is an agro-based industry. Uh, from raw jute it is produced, and in India it is concentrated more in the West Bengal area, and in just after it comes second after the Bangladesh with reference to the exporting to the world. Now, sugar industries. Sugar industries are the largest producer. India, Brazil is the largest producer, and the second largest. India is the second largest. But it is the largest producer of gur and khansari. This gur and khansari is also made from the sugarcane. Now, largest amount of these are concentrated in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh in the south, UP, Bihar, and Maharashtra. And mind it, the ownership of these type of industries is mostly cooperative. See, the pictures are given of these cotton textile industries. Here it is a picture of the sugar cane being converted into sugar. Now, mineral based industries, if you see that mineral based industry, they use minerals or metals as the raw material. Iron and steel industry, children, it is the basis industries of all the industries. It is also told as the feeder industry. Here the ratio is given of iron ore, coking coal, and limestone that is to be made for steel. 9th rank India has got in steel producing, and it is the largest producer of sponge iron. There are 10 primary steel plants in India: Bokaro, Rourkela, Burnpur, Bhilai, and the nodal marketing agency of steel in India by the public sector undertaking is SAIL. See the iron slabs that are being made here. Okay, I think it is a blast furnace. I think so it is. When you see this graph, you will feel the histogram. You will feel how much amount of steel in that China is producing as compared to India. Much more. Here only you see almost it is 6 times. Okay, and here if you see it is 9 times. Because in India, if you see, the growth is very less. Almost of each year, almost I think only one the percent increase is there. 25, 27, 29, 32, and here it is. So this is the graph up till 2004. And the two metallurgical industries in India is aluminium and iron. The feature of aluminium is that it is light, corrosion free, and good conductor of heat. That's why it is being used in aircraft and for making of the utensils that we use. There are 8 aluminium smelting plants in India: Nalco and Balco in Orissa, West Bengal, and in the south it is Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The raw material used for the production of aluminium is bauxite. See the making of the aluminium here. Now, chemical industries, children, the contribution of the chemical industry is 3% of the GDP. Its position in India is in Asia it is third. 2 types of chemicals are produced: inorganic and organic. Now, fertilizer industry. This is making nitrogenous fertilizers, phosphoric and complex fertilizers. India's position with reference to nitrogenous fertilizer production is third. It is located in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and in UP and Punjab in the northern belt. Cement, children, as soon as the word cement comes, the limestone is the raw material. It should be coming to your mind. Gypsum and aluminum silica. Again, raw material for this cement is limestone, silica, aluminum and gypsum. It is located mainly in Gujarat area. Many other area also it is located. First cement plant was established in Chennai 1904. Exported to Gulf countries, Africa and Asia. Automobile industry, children, manufacturers, cars, scooters, motorcycles, all the four-wheelers, two-wheelers and three-wheelers come under the automobile industry, and most of them are located in the four metropolitan cities they are located, and in addition to that, Hyderabad, Jamshedpur, Gurgaon, Bangalore, it is located. See the automobile industry, children. Here it is given. Information and technology and electronics industry. All of you know these things are coming under it: transistor, television, telephone, computers, and radars. Electronic capital of India, Bangalore, and in in some of the years, present years or some of the current years, this industry has given the great employment to large number of people in India. But children, side by side, that due to these industries, pollution is also generated. Then this what is pollution? Addition of unwanted things to the nature. Nature means air, land, water. So when this unwanted is added to land, it is called as land pollution. So what happens? Due to this, land's quality get degraded. Why it is degraded? Huge quantities of industrial waste are dumped and make the soil unfertile. Yes, good morning, student. See, the next one is the air pollution. Means air quality is going to be downgraded. Why it is going to be downgraded? Because these things have been added to um, the air. These are toxic gases like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and other harmful gases. The smokes are coming out from the factories. When this smoke is inhaled by the human beings, it causes the pulmonary diseases. Next is the water. Water industrial wastes are discharged into water bodies. These contaminate the water and make it unfit for use. So this leads to the water pollution. Noise pollution, children. You might be, when you come to the market, you might be very aware of that one. It might be quite disturbing to you. The horns of the automobile, the noise of the machinery in the factories, and large scale that building activities or construction activities goes on. This creates the noise pollution, and this causes irritation and leads to deafness. Now see here very carefully. You might be seeing this fume smokes coming out. This is causing air pollution. This dumping of the waste on the earth causing land pollution. Here this construction activity going on, and this machine, due to this machine, noise pollution, and here see amount of water pollution. But this can be controlled also. How? By minimizing the use of water, reusing the same water by purifying it, rainwater harvesting, I think you might have understood in that water resources chapter. Treating the industrial and chemical effluents before discharging them into rivers. Minimize the use of fuels by that are producing harmful gases, and these biogas and natural gases should be used, and water treatment and sewage treatment plants should be established to prevent land and water pollution. Then children, NTPC is there. This NTPC, it is National Thermal Power Corporation. It is a public sector company. It was established in 1975.